we're fast becoming a much bigger user of Gemini in our office. So I'm going to hand it over to AJ, who's going to take us through an introduction to Google Gemini, and then at the end I'll come back to say thank you. If you want to ask any questions, please pop them into the chat. I think it's the best place. But AJ can give you that direction as he takes us through. So AJ, thanks so much, and over to you.
Thanks, mate. Yeah, I look forward to kind of presenting about Gemini to your team. And as Craig mentioned, I'm AJ. I'm the Workspace specialist, and I work on the Gemini for Google. By no means I'm a guru, but I'll tell you what's happening so far and how we have been working with another customers. So just to start with, I'm not going to do more of like a tell session, bore you with the slides. I'm literally going to go through like how it actually works. So it's going to be more of a show session rather than a tell. And we'll go through about 3 pillars today. The first one is the Gemini.google.com. Any of you who may have used some other AI solutions like ChatGPT and other ones, you will see that it has almost all those functionalities, plus few other enhancements, some more nuances, which are much better. You also have the enterprise-grade protection and a few other things, which we'll cover. Then we'll move on to the second pillar, where you have the Gemini in your workspace, which means in your Doc, Sheets, Gmail, Drive, in your Google Meet, everything we will talk about. And then we'll go on to the third pillar, where you can create the Google videos or a videos with just an AI prompt using Gemini. And those 2 pillars, that's not something you easily find in other market solutions. We'll go through all 3 of them today. Now, without further ado, let me share my screen and quickly start going through them. Just a quick check. Can everyone see my screen? Craig, is my screen coming up properly on your end?
It is AJ.
Perfect. So this is like Gemini.google.com. As you can see, the URL on the browser. Ignore that core app. That's more of a single sign-on for us. But if you just type Gemini.google.com, it will open up. There is a free edition which you can use. Just be aware that you may not have all the enterprise-grade protection controls. The one, if you have a license properly, like Craig has for some of his stuff, that gives you all the bells and whistles and enterprise-grade protection. Now, some of the other AI market solutions, which you will see, what the key problem you will see over there is like all the prompts and data is being recorded for training the models. We have a Gemini license, which if you implement it. So in that, you have the whole enterprise-grade protection, which means none of your data prompts are being recorded for training the models. None of it is used for advertising. None of it is used for review by the human reviewers. None of your data leaves your enterprise domain, which means if you put anything over there, whether it's your financial sheets, whether it is your code, research, or anything, it won't go out of your public domain. And again, there is a public URL that has been published by Google confirming that. I can send you that link, or even if you Google yourself, you'll find it easily. Now, that was just like a kind of a preamble, what Gemini is and how it is slightly different from another market solutions. Now, coming over here, the functionality-wise. Now, let's start with the very basic things. So if I say that, tell me about the best practices. I'm just taking like a sample prompt here for project management. And what it will do is it will give me a kind of a concise summary. So let's think of the current world where you do a Google search, you get 100 different links, then you go through those different links, synthesize the information for you, and make it useful for you. Now, that is where the generative AI search is changing the existing search. And Google Gemini, it has been rolled out by some key airlines, retailers. Can't say the names because of the sensitivity, but there are a lot of retailers, the big tech companies, and another ones just within Australia and New Zealand who have, and some banks who have rolled out Google Gemini because of enterprise-grade protection and all the functionalities. Now over here, when I did a search, it has already come up with the synthesized information rather than the 100 different links, which you generally get within Google search. Now, this is not only powered by AI, it is also powered by the Google search. There is generally an icon here, which you click and it says that, like, show me how that information is coming from. Like this information, if you see, this is coming from this website. This information is coming from another website. So it tells you the whole citation and the references check. It's not only powered by AI, it's also powered by the Google search. It's an amalgamation of both. Now, once you're over here, again, This was just like a typical search. It synthesizes information. You can also say, can you create something based off it? Now that thing may not exist on internet. So I can say, can you create training plan for new hires based on this? And again, it knows the context, what I asked last time. And when I say based on this, I don't need to repeat the whole thing based on the best practices. It understands. It's very much like talking to a person. So it retains the whole thing. It comes up with a training plan, day one, day one. Looks pretty exhaustive. So what I can do is, I'm like, this looks good. I'm gonna copy that into my docs or my email. Now, another better thing over here, in the another AMR situations, you'll be doing a manual copy and paste, and most of the time it messes up the formatting. You don't need to do that in Google Gemini. You have the whole option. You can put it on the social media, whether it is LinkedIn, Twitter. You can take it directly to your emails, or you can take it directly to a doc. So let's say in this case, I pick up a doc. Now you will see that I'm not opening a doc and I'm not doing a manual copy and paste. All I'm doing is just a one click, and it has taken all that information from my Gemini search directly into my docs. So everything is seamlessly integrated. And once you're here, again, you don't need to go back. So let's say if I just want to expand on a particular section here, all I can do is, can you just rephrase it, elaborate it, or whatever you want? It will do that for you. If I want to elaborate the whole thing, or if I want to shorten up the whole thing, select the whole thing and you can do it. Or you can do it on a section wise like I'm doing right now. It's not like that you have to go back and come back again. All you can do is, once you're copied here, you can again further work on the doc itself. I'll just close this one at the moment. So if I go back here, so far what we have done is we have done a normal search, the GenAI-based search. We have created some content, the text-based content based on our search. Now let's do something more interesting. Now I'm going to put some image here, and I'm going to say, help me understand this. Please provide detailed textual information. And you can do that with even handwritten notes. And it will read everything. So it has the whole the optical character recognition capabilities where it can go through the whole image. Now, as you can see in this image, it's a bunch of icons. It doesn't tell about what's really happening. So it has read those icons and it has come up with like, yeah, it talks about something about conventional agriculture. And then it talks about some regenerative agriculture, about the two different methods. Again, I don't come from that background. I have no idea what it is talking about, but apparently it's talking about the two different methods that are in those that's in that diagram. Now, again, once you have gone through that, it has even come up with a very nice table. If it doesn't, you can say, can you create a table out of it? And it will do that for you. So basically what it is doing is it's really kind of crunching down like hours of your work into seconds. The same thing about which we were talking about, like tell me about best practices for project management. You may be spending like about half an hour or 15, 20 minutes going through different links, coming up with information. It did that for you in a couple of seconds. Same thing here, put an image, put a handwritten notes, especially with a lot of government departments and a lot of the legacy departments where you see a lot of paperwork. All you can do is you can digitize that using this one. Again, you can say that create a training plan for farmers based on this one, and it will do that for you. You can again create the same kind of content which we did last time. So that was the text-based image. You can also say that, can you create images for, let's say, a pick or a bank, let's say for ABD Bank with the bank logo. Please use pink and white color themes. And I can be more specific, but let's say you get the idea. Basically, you can create your own images. The more precise you are, the better it is. You can say it should be in a star format, or it can be like a simple text. The more information you give it, the better image it can come up with. Now, one thing over here is all these images are created by AI models just for you. They're not taken from internet. They have no copyright, no IP on them. And again, it's published publicly by Google. In case if anyone challenges you, we have the whole indemnity clause where we cover the whole legal risk and the legal cost for it. I can share the link, or you can just Google it yourself on the internet. So it can come up with the different images. You can say that, can you create more images? It will do the whole another different images for you. So you can create the images, but you get the gist. You can create text-based content. You can create image-based content. Now, another thing you can do is for the developers, we talked about text, images. I can say, can you create a code for chatbot to take user complaints for ABC Bank? Yep. So what it will come up, it's like with the whole code. You can put your own code and say that help me troubleshoot it or help put commentary to it. So you can do all those things that can do the whole code-based functionality as well. So right now it has come up with the Python, which is a more popular language. You can say that, can you do it in the Java or the C++, and it will do that for you. The idea is to show you that it can do all the code-based tasks as well. We also have a further very detailed Gemini solution for code called as a code assist, which you can use, and that can even provide you more granular details. So in this one first, Gemini.google.com, we have talked about text, images, the code. I think that's pretty much it. I'll just show one last thing to you about the gem manager. So here is something where you can create like your own custom gems. What it is like, in the previous one, we were just doing a general search. We were just putting in the information. We were getting the results. Now here you can set up the context. If I show you, this is something which I was planning for my team, the Christmas party planning. If I go and show you what I did here was, I just said like, I'm planning a Christmas party. I'll show the new one for you. That would be much better just to create for you. Close, okay. I'll just say a new gem. And I say, I'm planning like a New Year party. So I say New Year party. And I'm saying that I'm organizing New Year party on 20th of December. My teammates are traveling from Brisbane, Adelaide, and Sydney. Need help on flights, accommodation, dining, planning. Yep. And again, I've just given it a kind of a bit of information what I'm looking for. Now, generally how it will look like, you even have a Gemini to write even the content for you, what you should be searching properly if you have to plan the event. So I'll just use that. I just like, I want to do something like that. Tell me what exactly things I need to do. These are some of the things on my head. We'll come up with the whole instructions. As you can see, you don't need to provide instructions. So Gemini is creating instructions for you. So it just selects just timing options, the part of the itinerary, activities, games, something which I never thought about. It tells about another things, the booking websites, the another like fun things, the props and all that, travel accommodation. So that just creates like a gem. It just sets up a context. Now, next time when I have to search, I don't need to provide all the information that the party is on 20th of December, that I have the people coming from so-and-so dates, and it's at this location. So I can just say that, tell me about the best planning places. And it knows what day I'm talking about and what information do I need. Just give me a second. I think my laptop is running out of charge. I'm disconnecting it. Yep. So as you can see, it automatically came up with like, these are the place, couple of places in Melbourne where I'm organizing the party. It even gives me the whole Google Maps, which is totally integrated. All I can do is click over here and it will open up the whole Google Maps and take me over there. So very much the whole Google ecosystem you get inside the Gemini. And again, I can say that, tell me about the best flights, and it will use the Google Flights to find all the information. The flights. I'm not telling where the people are traveling. I'm not telling where the date is. It knows that. No, there is no flight on New Year party. There is quite odd. But the idea you get is like, you set up the whole custom gem where you create the whole context, basically what you're going to search for, so you don't have to repeat it, and then you can search. But if you just want the general search, you can always come here and do a general search here like we were doing, and you can create your custom gems as well. So that was the very first pillar of Gemini. Now moving on to Gemini in Workspace, you have that capability in your Gmail, Drive, Talksheets, etc., like I was talking about. You will see this icon, the diamond icon on the top. If you click here, it will open up a side panel. Now, this is the email that Craig and I was having. And it's not a canned email. Craig can confirm to that. And as soon as you click on the side panel, again, you can make it bigger depending on your preference, keep it short. But it will summarize the email for you, what's happening over there. Imagine you wake up in the morning, you have an email thread where 25 people have responded. You're trying to go through all of it and trying to make sense of it. And this email thread again had like about 8 or 10 different responses. It has quickly summarized in 3 bullet points what's happening. If you want more content, you can say, show me a longer summary. And it will tell you more longer detailed summary, what's happening rather than a succinct version. It will give that information to you. Now, again, it will keep giving you suggestions. What are the additional things that are happening in these emails? If you're interested in about that, what are the action items? What did I propose? What was Greg's question? It will keep giving suggestions. These are not the generic ones. It's very much based on the content of the email. And it will change as soon as you keep going through the prompts. It will see where you're heading towards, what you have asked, what is the most related thing to it. So it will keep prompting you that. In case if the question is not over there, you can put your own question over here, like help me with the response or whatever it is, and it will give you the reply. If you're still running short of the ideas, you can always go here and it will tell you, if there was an event plan, you can set to calendar. It will automatically create a calendar event for you. Gives you a lot of suggestions what you can do. And another thing is like, if I go into my inbox over here, you will see that it will show me a different prompt here. It will say, show me unread emails. So I can say, show me unread emails from Steven in the last 6 months. Show me action items from John in the last 1 week. So it can give you all that information. Very, very handy. So that was just on the emails and summary, but let me show some more cooler. Now, when you have to write an email with Gemini, you'll get this thing pen with a star icon. You can always say, okay, write an email. It will really help you write your own emails, inviting customers for a webinar. On, again, let's say 18th of December, with deadline to register by 10th of December. Topic is education for parents and teachers about kids' health benefits. You can be a bit more precise. You can add a lot of more content, what you're looking for. You can even put the registration link or something. You can put more agenda and will come out with a much better answer. The more high level or the more broad prompt you give, the more broad response you're going to get. The more insight you give it to it, the better outputs you will get. That's what it's called as like a prompt engineering word. So it has come up with saying that we're excited to invite you about education for the fund. And if you would have put the registration link over in the summary, it would have included over here. You can still amend it later on. That's all fine. If you don't like this one, you can say recreate, or if you can say that, can you just elaborate it or can you shorten it to suit your style? So you have all those different controls depending on how you want to play it. Now, once I'm over here, like this looks good. Now I'm going to send it to hundreds of parents. I'll be putting all those email addresses here, sending it out. Then I'll be exposing their private email addresses. Well, you have this capability called as mail merge. This purple bar comes up, and you can put the different names over here. Let's say you put my name. I put one of my colleagues' name here. Now, what it is going to do is you send one email. At the back end, it's going to send 100 different emails to 100 different people. And that's where the productivity really helps. You send one and it sends 100 different emails without exposing the email addresses. Now, it still looks you'll be like, it still looks generic. Let's make it more personalized. You can say geo and change it to tags, or you can use a different tag, last name, whatever you prefer. You have all the options here. And again, I can put the tags wherever I want just to make it personalized the way you want it. And delete it. If I want to add something, you can add it and then send it. Again, it will send 100 different emails out. But what it will do is, for the first email, it will extract my first name and it says Dear AJ. For the second email, it will say Dear Shirona. And those 100 emails will go out. So really improving your productivity. Again, crunching down your hours or minutes of tasks into seconds. That's what it does. Also, it gives you the whole kind of a Grammarly functionality. So if I open up an email here, and let's say I pick anything here, just let's say if I pick content here from Natalie. So I just copy this here, and then I say, okay, I want to fix the spelling before I have to send it out. I'm not sure if she used it or not, but if I say polish it, you have this whole option of polish. It gives you the whole Grammarly-based functionality. It fixes the spelling, the punctuation, the grammar, and it even adds the content. Now you can see that she didn't really use it polish. It was not that, it didn't have that finish. But now when you use this, the AI-based, it has really made it more professional. You can say that it's a bit long, so you can shorten it up, or you can say, can you elaborate it? And it will even add more content without distorting the original content. Or you can say, just recreate, I just wanted to see another version of it. So you have the whole Grammarly built in as well. That was just on email, the whole thing which I talked about. Let's move on to the drive, which is very heavily used. So I have these couple of files in my drive. And again, I have this whole Gemini side panel option. You open it, just make it slightly bigger so it's easy to read. Again, it will give you suggestions what you can do. Or what you can do is you can just copy these files. You can copy 100, you can copy 1. For this example, I'm copying 3. I'm just going to do a drag and drop. What it is going to do is each file is about 10 pages long. It has read through each of the file and come up with like a 2 or 3 line summary about each of the proposals. Like Synergy installations cost is this much. That's what they're going to do. InFrame is going to use a high quality material that their size 10 by 10, and BothX, whatever they have mentioned. It gives you kind of a summary. And again, it gives you more suggestions what additional things are in those files, and that can be helpful. But I'm a kind of a visual person, so I can say that, can you create a tabular comparison for this? And it will come up with a very nice table about the 3 suppliers, what the different parameters are, whether it is the size, the cost, quality, whatever is in those files. It will come up with a nice table saying that, okay, these are the 3 suppliers. That's what the design is. That's what the cost is. That's what the key points are. And then you can decide what you want to do. Or I can even say things which are not even in the file. So from the cost perspective, Synergy looks good, but I'm a bit skeptical about the quality, and I just want to make sure I'm not just choosing based on the cost. I also want to have a good quality. If that is not there, there's no point of going with a cheaper cost. So I can say I'm thinking to go ahead with the Synergy installations. And again, like I mentioned previously, think of it talking to a person. And I can say, please tell me some due diligence questions. I can ask this supplier in terms of cost, quality, and time frame. Now that information doesn't exist in those files, but the AI model knows like what are the kind of the things where it should be evaluated on. So based on the content of the file, based on the AI models, it's going to tell me like these are the things, additional things you can ask your supplier on time frame. So like it says cost, other than additional cost like permit inspections. Now I didn't have that in my mind. I had never thought about it. What's the payment schedule? That's another good one. What's the penalties for late payment? And your warranties, another good one. The quality, about what's your quality? Can you provide references? A very good one. Like give me some customer references where I can go and check it, or I just need to see the work before I engage you. What's the time frame? What's the contingency plan? And again, what's your experience and all that. So it gives you a couple of due diligence questions where you can start with. So really helpful. Again, I have some of these budget files. I was working with a government sector customer who has rolled out Gemini. Again, the day budget got released for New South Wales. They're like, how is it different from the last year and what it means for them? And they were education ones. So you can, again, like drag and drop the files and say that, can you create a tabular comparison? And it will come up with a whole table about the fiscal policy, the deficit, the housing, energy, or education. Or you can be very specific, create a table comparison only for education. If you want everything, just say that compare the table. Or if you want a particular sector, you mention it. Come up with a nice table. You can say, can you create an executive summary and all that? It will create for you. The point I'm trying to make here is basically you have this AI unleashed on all your Google Drive files. You can pull out the insights, whether it is in the form of executive summaries, whether it is in the form of the tables, whether it is in form of just summaries, whatever you want. So you have a lot of capability on your existing drive. Similarly, moving on to slides, again, you have the Gemini side panel. You can click here. Again, it will give you a lot of suggestions, what things you can do. You can create your own slide. There is a new functionality that's coming up down the line where you can create a whole slide pack. You can say, can you create a slide pack for, let's say, best practice project management? It will come up with a whole slide pack. I don't know when that is going to be released, so I don't want to commit to that publicly, but I know they're working on it. Right now, you can create a single slide. You can say, can you create a slide about a particular idea or just about that budget file? So let's say if I say, can you create a slide about best practices for project management? Or I can stretch the limits and say, can you create a slide based on that budget file we were saying? Okay, so it's a pretty big ask. That's 100 pages PDF, and I'm asking you to create a single slide. And it will do that. It will pick up the key points in the whole file, come up with that, and the summary. I can again say that, can you create a slide based on budget, particularly for education sector or particularly for housing? And it will do that for you. Right now, make it a very broad. No, it is going to come up with something very broad as well. Again, it sometimes come up with the text-based content only. Sometimes it come up with the image, or sometimes it comes up with a combination of it. But depending on the file, that's the output you get. And again, once the image comes up, you can always say like, I don't like this image, or I want to create a new one. You can always create your whole images. So here it has come out like New South Wales budget. This is this one, cost of living pressures and all that. Whatever it is, let's say insert. No, I really don't like this image. And since it's New South Wales, I can say that, can you create an image
Thank you for
of Sydney Opera House
really good that we
from a drone shot? So as you'll see here that, like I was mentioning, it's not going to take any image from internet. It will have no copyright or IP on them. So what it is going to do is it know how Sydney Opera House looks like. It know how drone shot looks like. It's going to weave it together and come up with an image for you. That's what it's going to do. And again, no one can claim it's like it has a copyright. And even if anyone does, we have the indemnity clause, which I mentioned to you. Now let's say I like this image. I can say just insert it, remove this one, keep it over here. That's it. Yep, you're done. And again, don't think that once you create this image, it has to be in slides. This is your image. You can copy this image, put it in your docs, put it in your email, take it anywhere, wherever you want. It is your image. So yeah, those are the things you can do in the slides. Again, in the interest of time, I'll move on to the sheets quickly. Again, you have the whole side panel here. This was a sheet here. You can just, it will, as soon as you open it, it will come up with a quick summary. What's happening in this one? Then you can say, can you create a pie chart about what stage they are in? Can you create a line graph? Whatever it is, it can come up with all those. You can even create your AI-based formulas. So you can do a lot of stuff on the sheets. Another cool thing which I'll show you here is, you just go this one, and if you click on insert tables, and then you have a lot of these pre-made tables now. You have the event management tables, the project management, and it's not just one of them, there are a lot of them. The project management, whatever you prefer. So let's say, or even for the HR or your different lines of business. Let's say for marketing, I pick up the campaign tracker and I insert this table here. And I really like this table, but I don't want to have all the columns. So what I can do is perhaps I can delete this column if I don't like. If I want to add another column, I can do it. The idea is not like you have to use as it is. If it's your purpose, by all means, go for it. But if you want to do any customizations, you can do it. You have the flexibility, just like I'm doing here. I can just go ahead and delete this column, gone, and you can add another one if you prefer. You have a lot of these tables which you can use to your purpose. Similarly, going on to docs, again, you have the AI painted over all over the place. You have this Gemini side panel, again, giving you a lot of ideas, what you can do. You can create your own blog post, you can create your marketing campaign, and a training plan, whatever you prefer, you can do all of that. Or you can just click here, create a document, the full document, or you can just say that in this document, help me write. And I can do the same thing here, which I was doing on gemini.google.com. So you don't have to flip between the screens. I can just say that write training plan for new hires based on best practices for project management, the previous example we were using. And it will do that for you. So you have the AI capability all over in your docs. So that was the second pillar where we talked about the Gmail, basically the summarizing, the catching up on the unread emails, action items, even writing your own emails using the mail merge functionality, using the Grammarly functionality. Then the Drive, where you have AI unleashed on all your files. You can create your executive summaries, the tables. And in slides, you can create your slides, images, etc. Similarly, in Sheets, you have these pre-made tables, or you can create your own table. You can even say that, help me create a table. All you have to do is just write a prompt here and say that, can you create a table with these columns? Bring your creativity into this prompt, and it will do that for you. Similarly, you go into the docs, it will create the content for you. As you can see here, all you need to do is just put a prompt and it will come up with the answer. But let's move on to the last and the third pillar. So this is Google Videos, or as we call it, Vids. If you just type, I'll give you the chat, I'll give you the message, or the URL in the chat message. So vids.google.com. And again, once you have the Gemini license, you can create the videos with just an AI prompt. So again, this is about 3 or 4 months since it was launched, and it has really taken by storm. All the big retailers, all the big airlines, which I was talking about, they use it heavily to create the videos for their executive messaging, for the videos for the internal newsletters, the marketing videos, the product training videos, plenty of use cases. Or even if you have to, I'll just remind me later, or even if you have to just use it for like a daily purpose. For example, I say here, create a video welcoming Greg to the gym. Now, this is something like which you see quite often. You have the new person joining in, you want to introduce them in the team meeting or in your all hands, wherever it is. So what it has done is it has come up with a whole video, the whole different scenes like welcoming Greg, who is Greg, his brief introduction. Again, I didn't think about that workflow. And even if I have to create that workflow, I'll be spending good 15, 20 minutes even thinking about the workflow. Forget implementing it. It thought about it, and it even created the scenes for it. So it has thought about this whole workflow. If I don't like anything, I don't want to talk about projects in the introduction, I can delete it. Opportunities for collaboration, I can delete a particular scene which I don't like. Let's keep the remaining one. And I say next. You have tons of templates which you can choose from. So let's say I pick up this one. Then I say create the draft video. What it will do is it will come up with the whole video with the screen, the screens which I was talking about, and it will come up with the script. It will come up with the music and the whole information. So over here, I go back. So this is the first screen which I was talking about, or the first scene. It says, "Welcome to the team, Greg. We are excited to have you on board." So I can change here and say, "Look forward to working with you." I can delete anything which I don't want, or I can just add it. And then I can say record myself. Let's say if I'm recording Craig, I can ask Craig to record himself, and he can just do a voiceover. He can do a camera, or he can do a screen and a camera. Let's say if you're doing a product training video which you're recording, where you want your image and you want the screen, that's really helpful over there when you're doing the kind of a product training kind of video. Over here, let's say I'm just introducing Craig here. So it'll come up with this whole thing. And as you can see, it opens up the whole teleprompter functionality. It came up with the whole script, the one which we amended. It picked up that. You have the whole functionality, rolling, read-along manual. So you have the whole teleprompter-based functionality, which you can use to record yourself or Craig, whoever you want to record. If you're short of time, you have a lot of this voiceovers. And again, they're not robotic. They're very, very good. So let's say if I pick anyone here, and then I just insert in a timeline. And as you can see on the bottom left, it's basically inserting this, the voiceover on this one. So what it is going to do is it's going to read out this script, which we amended using this voiceover. Similarly, again, the image over here is of a girl. If I want to change it, all I can do is, again, record Craig over here, or I can even use the stock images. So I'm like, I don't have the time to do that, or Craig is even busy. So all I'll do is I'll just say like stock media. And it's not like Canva where it will keep asking you to pay for like something. Everything is totally free in this one. So I can say that man smiling. So let's say I pick up a particular one. Let's say I pick this one up. And what it will do is it will insert that stock video in. I will close this one and go back to the script. So if I go into the next one, and again, I can look into the script, what it is being read. You can always change that. You can delete a particular scene here again, and then you have the whole audio. But let me try to play this how it comes across. I may need to unshare my screen and share my tab only, so you can hear the music. Otherwise, you won't be able to hear the music. So let me share my tab only. Yep. So let's go back. This was the one which we inserted. I'll just play it. And you will see that it's the whole script.
Welcome to the
that's
team,
being read.
Craig. We're so excited to have you on board. Look forward to working with you.
I'll just skip it quickly and then drop it. And you can see the quality of the video, the quality of the images, the whole music being played, which you can change. I haven't inserted the voiceover for the remaining scenes. That's why you're not able to see anything, able to hear the script being read out. But if I insert the voiceover, you will see the script being read out for all the scenes. So I'll just pause this one, stop sharing. I think you got the gist what this whole Google videos is about. Let me go back and share my screen and round it up. So if I have to just kind of summarize, we talked about the 3 pillars where we talked about this by Gemini.google.com. And if I go back, which were we were talking about here, just going to the history, you also have the whole history over here in your, which you can see. So basically, if you start with like a basic Gen AI search, which you can do, you can see how it is kind of using the Google search. You can also create your whole new content, whether it is a text-based content or an image-based content. You can even create the whole images, and it will, or even your handwritten notes, to tell you what the whole image is all about. And then you can also work on your code, where you can create your whole code. You can put your code in, help troubleshoot it, put a commentary around it. So you can do all of that. And then we also talked about the gems, where you can create your whole new gem, or you also have some pre-built gems which you can use if you want, or you can create your whole new gem like we did. The second option or second pillar which we talked about was the AI in Workspace, where you have AI in your Gmail. There again, you can catch up on your unread action items. You can create your whole new email with AI. You can use the Grammarly functionality in it. You have the AI in your Drive, again, to pull out the insights and the summaries from your files. Again, you can do the whole slide and the image creation from your slides. In Sheets, again, you have pre-made tables, or you can create your pie charts, graphs, formulas using AI. Similarly, in Docs, you can create your training plan, marketing campaigns, blog posts, whatever you can think of, go for it. And the third pillar is the Google Videos, where you can create a video with just an AI prompt. That's pretty much it, what you get with just a single Google Gemini in Workspace. I'll just pause and hear if anyone has any questions.
I don't have any questions on the chat, AJ, but does anyone want to put their hand up and ask a question of AJ while he's here? I think you've given us a lot to work on, AJ. Actually, from my perspective, every time I talk to you, I learn something new, and I have to go back and start again, because it's great to be able to learn new stuff as we go. So yeah.
One thing which I forgot to tell about Craig was the Google Meets one. I think because we didn't have the live summary, but what I can share is quickly. Okay. So let me share my screen again. But just like you have this the Gemini icon on your all workspace, you have the same icon on Google Meets once you enable the Gemini. And what it will do is it will do a live summary. So let's say we are in this meeting. For the last 30 or 40 minutes I've been presenting, it will be doing a live summary of it. So if anyone joins later on, they can quickly see what's going on rather than trying to figure out or disrupting the meeting. It's really helpful. And even after the meeting finishes, you get a kind of an email, just like you're recording. You get a kind of a email saying that here are your meeting minutes and the whole transcription. But just to give you an example, we didn't have that capability turned on today, but just to give you an example from another customer, we represented the similar thing. So I get this first file where there's a whole transcription. It's exactly who said what. It shows like who are the attendees. It was me, it was my screen, Emily, Isabel, Jim, Jonica, and it exactly tells who said what. And it shows you the whole timestamp. But that is not something we're interested in. It's more of a log if someone is interested. But this is the key thing which we use extensively within Google now. You get this meeting minutes. On the top, it shows like who are all invited. Shirona was invited in this one, but she couldn't attend it. So AI or Gemini automatically picked up who were the attendees or who were the invitees from the Google Meet link and who was not there. It's quite smart. It automatically striked out her name. It wasn't done manually. It has been done automatically by Gemini. And then it gives you a summary what was discussed here. We discussed about the Gemini features and everything, the same thing which I went. And then it came up with this whole meeting minutes. Like you can see here, I didn't create those bullet points. I didn't create those headers and bolded it. It automatically identified the different themes, bulletized it in a structured manner. It bolded each theme one by one and gave the meeting minute summary. The same thing which we're talking about today, like gems, the Gmail Drive, the slide sheet, video creation. It has done that. If you would have turned it on today, it would have come up with a very similar output. And if there was any action item, it would have come up like action item. This is an action item on AJ or Greg or Jeff, anyone. So very, very extensively used. We don't do manual meeting minutes anymore. We use this extensively. So this was another one which I forgot to talk about earlier. So sorry, Craig.
No, all good. All good. Well, thank you, AJ. Really appreciate your time. I'm going to go back and watch the video again and make sure I take some more notes because, you know, you've got to try these things out. And each time, as I said, each time I listen to you or talk to you, I learn something else. And just letting everyone know, Two Hands as a Google shop has been since I started. And we've rolled out Gemini licenses to our team so that they can start using it as well. So I'll be getting them to watch this webinar as well. That's it for today. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, AJ, for calling in from over the ditch. Thank you all of those that attended. This will go up on our YouTube channel as a video that people can look at later. And then next year, we're going to launch the library that we're building on AI technologies and some of the other things that we're developing. So thank you, AJ, and Mā te wā, everyone.
Cheers, team.